Sad part is, we haven't hit the worst part of the pandemic yet.
To say no to our visitors. The economy is run by the tourism industry.
Salam.
Namaste.
Assalamualaikum.
Vanakkam.
Assalamualaikum.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম আশা করি সবাই ভালো আছেন
I live in Peshawar and it was the worst hit area a couple of weeks ago, but that keeps shifting to other densely populated parts of the country like Karachi. But at the same time, there aren't enough safety measures or precautions that people are taking when they're going outside.
Now, I've been quite fortunate and privileged that the pandemic hasn't really affected me significantly, yet at the same time, it has changed my views about certain things and also strengthened some of the views that I already had. So for example, in Pakistan, historically, our military budget has been significantly larger than how much we spend on stuff like education and healthcare. To the extent that at the start of the pandemic, we had more tanks and fighter jets than we had ventilators in the country. And I've always realized how problematic such things are in the face of the pandemic.
We are not allowed to leave our houses except for one person per household who can leave for groceries with a special pass they need to keep on themselves at all times. If you are caught breaking lockdown measures, you are fined the equivalent of $324 US.
Firstly, they had a full lockdown where you cannot leave the house for the most of the time. However, afterwards, the Sri Lankan government had imposed the curfew, so people will only be allowed to be outside for their necessary shopping between 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. Also, all schools and universities have been closed to prevent the coronavirus from spreading in large group of areas. Furthermore, they have been closed the airports.
Coming back home was very stressful because there was the whole uncertainty with borders with Bangladesh and the UK, and the same with my brother who was coming back from the US, who had all his flights cancelled, and he had to find a way to come to the UK and then travel back to Bangladesh with me. So it was a really nerve-wracking time, and for that I think my goodbyes were very rushed and not as heartfelt as I wish they were, just because I had so many other emotions going through me with the uncertainty of the situation.
We were expected to peak in May, but now they're saying that we're expecting to peak in July to August. Yet, even without peaking in terms of the curve yet, we're still having a horrible situation with about a person dying every 15 minutes.
I don't think the situation has come to its worst yet, which is especially scary to say because there's over 100,000 cases in Pakistan and they're rising every single day. We're expected to hit our peak by the 1st of August, but with that being said, we're out of lockdown. It was lifted a month ago and everyone's out on the roads with no precautions, and this is really scary, especially because we're running out of hospital beds.
Tourism has been halted since March 29th and therefore has led to our government's reserves taking big hits. However, there has been chatter of reopening the unaffected parts of the nation to tourists.
In my city in particular, the numbers are still growing. I think all across India, numbers are still growing. We're nowhere close to seeing the end of coronavirus because we still haven't reached our peak. So yeah, the numbers are just going up every single day. But in terms of death, we have a low death rate compared to other countries, even with high numbers, because Indians do have a good immune system. Our immunities are quite high.
The one way that the pandemic has really affected me is that it's created a lot of fear.
especially when it comes to your closest people and how they're being affected by the virus and how you're seeing them go through it, but there's nothing you can do except stay away.
Another thing is a lot of people think just because they have access to healthcare in Pakistan, they will be okay. And a lot of the cases that might be true, but looking at the pandemic, you can see that if you have a significant amount of your population living in cramped up slums without having basic sanitation needs, without having clean water and access to healthcare, how problematic that can be for them, which is one reason why you should definitely care about it, but also for the whole country in general. So I feel there's things like this which the pandemic has shown me that we must begin to focus on more and
Something positive that has happened is that India actually has a lot of air polluted cities. Like, we have a great smog problem, and out of the top 50 cities, most air polluted cities in the world, India holds 25 of those rankings, so we are half of them. And currently the air pollution levels have gone way down, so people can finally see the sky and have been able to.
However, due to the low of amount of cases, they have eased the restriction place and life is starting to become more normal. Even though isolation process is still continuing for certain people that are more vulnerable, private and government sectors have been commenced.
So I just hope the worst part of the pandemic isn't that bad, but looking at what it is already, it seems like it's going to be really bad for a country that's going to be hit by a health crisis as well as a falling economic crisis.
With being home, I am very grateful, and I know it's a privilege to be with my family right now because I know a lot of my friends are still in the UK or stuck in some other place that they'd much rather not be in. I have had the opportunity to reconnect and spend time with my family, rest a lot, eat properly, and I'm really grateful, but it has taken a toll on my mental health, especially because we're still in lockdown and the whole uncertainty of the situation is really, really frustrating.
Following the rules, we can decrease the number of cases dramatically. I hope our Mother Earth will become normal as early